Hey, good morning. I want to take the couple minutes here and show you some clues on on what the market is showing you and why it does what it does. I normally wait for I would normally wait for the stop hunts to be hit. That's the best trades that you can take when the stop hunts are hit. The stop hunt, all that means is the stop hunt is the false move against their real intentions. Okay? Again, wait for the stop hunts to be hit before you take a trade. Almost, almost 80 to 90% of the time in London session, the market shows you their hand that they're trying to go to the upside, and it does completely the opposite. This is where you want to master the TDI indicator. I'm going to mark up some charts. Obviously, right now the move already happened, but I just want to point out some clues so next time that you're looking at these setups, you know what to look for and what to watch out for, when to get in, when to get out. Okay, I don't trade Asian session. I trade the London session. So I want you to pay attention to here. Okay, so price is consolidating. Look at TDI. TDI is going sideways. They do a shallow, not too big of a stop hunt. Obviously, I'm looking for the stop hunt up here. But anyhow, the trade goes down, it goes back up, and then finally goes down, right? Just pay attention to this. Let's just say you took the trade to the downside here. Okay. Look at TDI. You took it because TDI finally crossed over, right? Now, look what happens. If you were selling that, look what happened with TDI. The current price is down there at that 32 level, which means it's probably going to reverse on you. Once it hooks back in like that, it's going to reverse on you. So before this move happened and you were selling that, that's your signal to get out of that trade because it's going to pull back. So you want to maybe, if you start seeing this stuff, you maybe want to secure some profits because at the end of the day, we know obviously we know what happened now. It went to the downside, but I want you to pay attention to this. If you were selling that, you took it off the high of the day, your stop loss goes, 25 pips above that high of the day. If you took this trade to the downside and you got out because it started to reverse on you, pay attention to this. It's reversing on you here. But look at the market baseline. Look at the market baseline. Market baseline is cutting in. So it went up to it, but because the market baseline is your true trend, look what happens. It finally went to the downside. Okay? This is a little bit more an advanced move. Okay? So price is coming down, the true trend is coming to the downside. Finally, current price is lining up with current, with the actual move to the downside, and that's when it just starts to drop. So I would start paying attention to the market baseline. Which way is that angle to? What is current price doing and what is the market baseline doing? So if you were selling that, a lot of people got out because it started to pull back on you. You thought you have the wrong direction. Just pay attention to that baseline, see what it's doing. So in this case, it worked out because it's coming down. It went above it. Finally, it crossed over. And look what happens when it closes below the 13 EMA. It was straight drop. And notice how it separates away from that 13 EMA. Okay. And look what happens. It hits the M1, the pivot point, possible low of the day. Technically, that's where you need to get out. It reversed a little bit, pull back, and it went back down. Why did it do that? This same move is the same move here, basically. That's the way I see it. Now look at the pullback. Current price is down there at that level, at that 32 level. But what is my market baseline doing? It's coming downwards. Okay. So this is the euro. This is euro franc. Now euro franc, we could probably get some type of reversal tonight in London. Okay, so I'll be on the watch out for that. But I just wanted to point that out to you. Sometimes the move will be very clear. Again, take a trade once you see a visible stop hunt. Let's go to the next slide. This is euro yen. Euro yen, 15-minute chart. Now, look at the keys. Look at all the clues. I don't trade Asian session. Price goes to the upside. There's your M pattern. They're hitting the pivot point, the M3. That's your possible high of the day, right? So look at TDI. Everything lines up. Now, if you were to be selling that, you took it here, you went right into profit. That's about maybe 40 pips. If you enter once it closes below that 13 EMA, there's your pullback. The high never got taken out. There's your close again below the 13 EMA, and it was nothing but straight drop after that. Same thing right here. Just pay attention to that market baseline. It's cutting in, even though current price is reversing. Current price is cutting in. So remember, the market baseline has more weight, and it's just straight to the downside. Again, these are the easy moves that you can, next time you're taking a trade, take it off the high of the day. You're close below the 13 EMA. You went straight into profit. It reversed on you. If you didn't get out, the trade is valid because the high never gets taken out. High of the day never gets taken out. And then boom, once you see this, if you stayed in it, you can add to the position there when it closes again below the 13 EMA, because line it up with TDI right there. Okay. So these are just quick little clues that the market gives you after when they're hitting the stops. Right here, this is what I like to see. Look at Euro New Zealand. I don't trade the Asian. Obviously, it was a big move in the Asian session, 93 points. But look what happens. The real move was to the downside, right? What did price do? What did price do? Price is trending up, right? In London session, they hit the stop. They're in my zone. If they're working the high, you're looking to do completely the opposite. What is TDI doing? TDI is above that 68 current price. They're hitting that volatility band up there. Again, I look at the volatility bands as my high and low of the day. High, low. What did it do? Current price went up to the high of the day, closed below the 13 EMA. If you wait for the body to close below the 13 EMA and you line it up with everything else, you go right into profit. If you just wait for the close below the 13 EMA, boom. Your entry's on this candle, and you go straight into profit. What? Over an hour of straight profit. It started to reverse on you. That's when you start putting the clues together. Why is it reversing on me? Okay, it's reversing on me, but pay attention to the angle of the market baseline. Okay, it reversed and back down again. So start paying attention to those clues right here. High of the day, pivot point, the M3, possible high of the day. You have a close below the 13 EMA. If you wait for that close and everything's lining up, there's your crossover there on TDI. You go straight into profit. Euro New Zealand, that's probably good for about 30, 40 points. So I just wanted to, let's go to the next chart. Look at this one. This one's a little bit more advanced. The euro dollar. There is no visible stop hunt. Again, the stop hunt is the false move against the real intentions. I want to see this before I take that, right? So anyhow, in London session, I want to see this. I didn't get that. Okay, so just pay attention to TDI. Price is going sideways. Okay, what is TDI doing? This is going to take some experience. I will stay away from that because this is not a good trade. Okay, because look, you have a close below the 13, a close above the 13, a close below the 13, a close above the 13. This is not a trade. I'll stay away from that. I want to see a clear, visible stop hunt. So this is not a trade right there. Okay. But let's just keep in mind, let's just break it down though. Even though this is not a setup, this is not what we take, what we trade. Okay, what happened? Look at TDI. Current baseline is going to the downside. So if current baseline is cutting in that middle of that 50 of that level of the TDI, then I want to see this current price do that, go above it and back down to line up with it. But he didn't do that. So again, this is not a trade. Let's see. This is Pound Australia. I don't trade the Asian session. What did Pound Australia do? Pound Australia, when London was coming, London open, they went to the upside. They're working my M3. Start pointing this out. M3, possible high of the day. A shallow stop hunt, the false move against the real intentions. Close below the 13. Your entry's in there. Okay. Now keep in mind, if a green candle closes hard above it, it might go back up to it. And then it might drop. So just pay attention to that. But you have a close below the 13. It went sideways for about 45 minutes and then drop. They hit the M2. That's your possible low of the day. It could reverse there. The market could do whatever it wants. Notice how you took it off the high of the day. You took it in there because you're thinking that's the high. Your first take profit is the initial low of the day right there. Everything's lining up. Obviously, it went in your favor even some more, but it started to reverse here. How are you gonna have confidence to stay in this trade is look at the market baseline. The yellow line is coming in. So yes, it could reverse. It could go all the way up there and then back down. So just be aware of the market baseline and what is current price doing. So look how it went from M3 to M1. Normally that's what they do. They trade in between the pivot points, right? You took it off what you thought was the high of the day, the M3, and you take it either to M2 or M1. Those are you can use those for your take profits. But this reversal right here, again, it went right here to test that low. It started, maybe gave you that W pattern back to the upside. But just be aware of this right here. What is current price doing when it's going up against that market baseline? Are they angling in the same direction or the opposite direction? Okay, so next time you don't get scared out of these trades. Let's go and let's see if we can get a. Okay, this is a stop hunt. Consolidation. Where's the stop hunt to? To the downside. The false move against the real intentions. What did they do? Went to the upside. Okay, and on this one right here, just look at TDI. Current price is down there. Remember my volatility bands. I use them as my high and my low. They're working the low here. Notice how the drop. Again, I wouldn't have taken that drop, but look what happens. Just another clue there. The volatility band is at the high. Current price is at that volatility band. Again, I treat my volatility bands like if that's my high and that's my low. So look what happens. Current price went up to the volatility band, came in here, crosses the red signal line, and it dropped. If you for whatever reason took that or were to be selling that, your exit is when it hits the low down there at that volatility band and it hooked back in. So if you were to be selling that for whatever reason you're in that trade, however you trade, that's your clue to get the hell out of that trade. Because look how everything's lining up. You could turn around and flip that to a buy. Why? Because it's down there at the low, 32 level, current price. So when it cuts that red signal line, you could use that as your entry. So that way you can get a nice tight stop loss. And look what happens. Now, if it were to gone up to the volatility band and reject it, That's your clue to get the hell out of that trade, because it's probably going to go back down again. But it didn't. It crossed over. Once it crossed over, it was lights out. So it went from the low of the volatility band up to the high of the volatility band. Your exit would have been when it cut back in right here, which was right here. Again, those are just some clues for you to be aware of when you're taking trades. Just use TDI. Again, consolidation, stop hunt, the false move against the real intentions to the upside. Let's look at pound Swiss franc. Okay, what did pound Swiss franc do? Consolidation. Let me grab a pen here. Consolidation. They're working the high. If they're working the high, you're looking to do completely the opposite, especially if it's lining up with TDI. M3, possible high of the day. And where did it drop to? To my M2, possible low of the day. If you wait, they showed you their hand to the upside. Wait for the close below the 13 EMA to take position. That way you go right into profit and avoid some drawdown. And if you take that, line it up with TDI, there's your crossover. Again, they're working the high of the volatility band. We're using the volatility bands like our high and low of the day. That's the way I see it. It crossed over, it's dropping, it's crossed over the baseline, and it went down to 32 level and reversed and ends the day in consolidation. That's the way you want to start putting this thing together. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, look at this one. Pound yen. What did pound yen do? I don't trade Asian session. Wait for London. They're working the high. If they're working the high of the day, look at TDI. They work the high, pulls down, pulls back up, but then it came back down. If you take the trade here, just be aware. If you had taken the trade here, they're working the high of the day. They're working the M3. That's second confirmation. TDI is lining up. Current price is up there. It's cutting in. If you took the trade, if you're selling that, you got in here, it pulls back on you, your stop loss goes above the high of the day. It never got taken out. Again, most people would have gotten out because it's reversing on you. If it's doing that, pay attention to the market baseline. Which way is it angling to? Is it downward? Is it pointing down? Is it pointing up? What is current price doing? Is it doing the same thing? If it is, it's probably going to go just like here, angling to the downside. Current price is already going down, already there. Again, there's a lot of confusion going on here, but once it's ready to go, the close below the 13 EMA was critical right there. Once it was ready to go, close below the 13, because remember at first it's above the 13 EMA. Finally, you get your close below the 13. Just take a step back and you can look at the big picture of what's happening here. It's kind of like a freaking M pattern there. Closes below the 13 EMA, you go right into profit. Right into profit. Pay attention to TDI there. And then and what happened here? They're working yesterday's low. This is yesterday's low. So again, these are just some little clues that you need to be aware of when you're taking these trades. Again, take it off the high of the day, low of the day. I don't trade Asia. I look at London, and this is our pound New Zealand. I don't trade pound New Zealand because it's a little too pricey to get into. But again, what did they do? Stop on high. Work the pivot point, the M3. That's your second confirmation. You have a close below below the 13 EMA. Drops a little bit, consolidates on you, closes above the 13, and then back down. If they do this and you're in this trade, you're going to have to pay attention to either close that trade because it could reverse on you. It could go back up and then back down. But just pay attention to the market baseline. I would have gotten out here because again, I mean, might have well secure profit and wait for a better setup. I don't really like these kind of setups where it's consolidating on you for over an hour, almost 2 hours. And so I don't. When it starts to consolidate, if you're in that trade for over 2 hours and it hasn't really moved anywhere, you might as well move your. If you're in some little bit of profit, move your stop loss to break even. Let's see. This is a perfect example. Pound USD. Okay. Consolidation. Stop on high. Drop. M3. The stop on is to the high. The M3. Current price is above that 68. So this could have been a good little sell. And you have to just, again, you just got to be aware when to get out. They're working the M2. M2 is your possible low of the day. And look what they're doing. They're working that initial low from Asia. What is current price doing on with TDI? They're down there at my low that volatility band that I use as my low. So it hooks back in. That's your that if you have been selling that in London, it reversed in New York on you, but that's the reason it reversed on you. It reverses, you can flip that to a buy. What did the market baseline do? Market baseline never cut that middle of that 50 level, and it went all the way back up again. So if you, this would have been London and then that New York reversal. So I'm just pointing things out here. Just look at the angles of TDI. So next time you're taking a trade off the high of the day or the low of the day, pay attention to the angles of the current price and TDI. What are they doing? Is current price hitting the volatility bands or not? If it's in the middle, you stay out until you can clearly see what they're doing. It's just going to require some patience. Okay, dollar franc. Dollar franc consolidated all the way through Asia, all the way through New York, all the way through London, and then it reversed to New York. Okay, let's look at it on TDI. I'm just breaking it down. Next time you see it, look how the bands are all tight together. That's your consolidation there. What did it finally do? It broke to the upside. The false move against the real intentions. Okay, if you bought this because you took it off, if you bought this, you're counter trend trading because let's just say, remember your volatility band, that's my high. They act like the high, and that's the way I see it. They act like my high and my low, right? What did current price do? It's down there at that low, at that volatility band. When you see this, let's just say if you bought it because you use TDI for confirmation. There's your close above the 13 EMA. Yes, you're in profit all this time. Okay, if you took it off the here because you for whatever reason you said you thought that was the low, what are they doing? They're working the M3. That's your possible high of the day. What is TDI doing? You're up here already. Current price is at that 68 level. So now there's more clues for a sell because you're up here. Current price is up there at that 68 level. It crosses the red signal. They're working the high of the day, the pivot point. They're giving it away, and then you get this huge close below the 13. And that was all she wrote. The real move was to the downside. So if you were counter trend trading this, just be aware of what's going on. I'm sure sometimes you're in profit and it reverses on you. And you're wondering why. You're wondering why the market reversed on you. Well, like I said, it's happened to me when I was learning this a few years back. You'll be in profit. Why did it reverse on me? I had the wrong. Just start paying attention to the clues when why am I in profit? Now it's reversing. It completely reversed on me. Well, it reversed on you because they gave it away. TDI, the pivot point, and again, that's the reason it reversed on you. Was everything was completely to the downside. Let's look at one more slide here, one more chart. This is the dollar yen. Now look at dollar yen. I don't trade Asia. I'll wake up and look for London. I notice that they're working the M3. They're pulling to the upside. The M3 It cuts to the downside, it pulls back up again. Never, they failed to take out the high of the day. And finally, when it was ready to go, there's your close below the 13. That's your entry. If you wait for the close, if you could just wait, be patient and wait for that close, the body of the candle to close below the 13 EMA, you're going to nail them. And it was all she wrote. Now look at my TDI. Again, this is a little bit more advanced because it's in the middle. Okay. Normally for a sell, when the easiest setup would be all these bands would be up here. But I'm just pointing some little key factors that maybe you already know this, maybe you don't. But again, if you were to be buying this and you're wondering why did it reverse on me, well, they're working the pivot point. The timing, what time is it? It's London, it's New York. What is TDI doing? And then if you were to be buying this and you see they're working the M3 and you see a close below the 13 EMA and you see this, get the hell out of the trade. It's going to reverse on you. So hopefully I could clear up a couple things for you here. Again, I'll be doing little videos like this, little chart breakdowns. Try to trade live a couple of times a week. So just, hit that alert button, subscribe and hit that alert button, because I'm going to try to do this a few times a week, actually live, so we can all, trade together and make some profits together. I'll see you guys in the next video.